It's morning again, so that means it's time to get some watering taken care of. I've got parsnips planted in here that I need to keep damp because it could take 2 to 3 weeks for them to germinate. I've got some carrots that are sort of recovering from some mouse attacks, and I've got a bunch of onion sets coming up in here. So time to get watering. I want to get this soaked well so that I don't have to fiddle with it too often. And I think while I'm over here, I'll give these guys a little shot too. I've got some celery from last year. I'm still trying to figure out whether the celery is worth keeping or not. It grew really well, but we didn't care for the flavor, and I don't know whether we're doing something wrong, so I'm going to be looking that up. If anyone ever has grown celery before and had it turned out to be too strong, I'd be interested. It may just be the variety. It was just one of those random purchases that we made at a seed display, and this may be a celery that we don't care for. We figured that worst case we could probably use it in soups and stews because it would sort of mellow the flavor. It's just really strong. I'm just going to give this a quick sprinkle over here. This is a combination of love and a mist and carrots. The dark green ones are carrots and the lighter green ones are love and a mist. We got a few weeds coming up in here too, which is why I'm only watering this one corner. I don't see a reason to water the weeds. But give them a little shot every couple of days here. I need to clear this out again. I've been trying to keep up with the weeds so they don't make my life too crazy later. I'm gonna just start top watering this a little bit. I can see I've got a few California poppies in here that need to come out. We're talking about planting fava beans in here, so I want to water this, and then I want to take the soil temperature. We're trying to figure out when it's going to be safe to plant the favas. They can go in a lot sooner than regular beans and things can, but because they prefer cooler soil actually. But it's the first time we've ever grown them, so we're sort of following the book on this one. And we don't have a lot of personal insight. So this is day 2 of straw bale conditioning. We put fertilizer on yesterday, and we put a cup of fertilizer on each straw bale and then watered it in pretty well. I can still see a little on the top, but not a huge amount. But our goal is to rinse that in good again today. It needs the nitrogen in the fertilizer to really start the decomposition well. I mean, it's got a little bit of stuff going for it just because it's been outside all winter, but still not perfect. It is possible, because we have seen it before, that we will not get any more rain until June or July. We're hoping that's not the case because it means it's going to be a really rough summer. And one of the problems is when it's really super dry, we become even more of a target for every type of critter in the area that's hungry. I want to say probably 8 years ago, we had a very dry spring, which led into a very late monsoon season, which for us normally starts in July at the latest. And this was one of those years where it was brutal. And I have we have an outside fence on the orchard, which was designed to keep the cows from stomping on it back before we could afford to fence off our property. We are in an area that's open range, which means ranchers graze their cattle out there, and it's your job to keep them out. The year that, now that fence is not rabbit proof, it's just designed to keep cows out. We have jackrabbits here, which are actually hares, which are much larger. They were so desperate for food that they stood on their hind legs and stripped the leaves off the orchard trees. The trees all survived. It made us really aware of that sort of thing. So we're going to do this every morning. And some days it'll get fertilizer and some days it won't. And I really don't have a sense of how much water to put in here. So all I'm doing is trying to make sure that there's no remaining fertilizer and that the water is soaking in well. The tree pollen is just crazy right now here. Some of our juniper trees are just coated with pollen. Ragweed is also starting to go a little crazy. So my weather app tells me that it's a lovely day for doing all kinds of stuff outside, but the pollen is high, and I'm like, I don't know how much outside I want to do. And of course, being allergic to straw probably doesn't help a lot either. I would make a lousy farmer who had to do a lot of hay and straw work. Straw is filthy. So, I was actually surprised at the quantity of larger sticks and stuff that were included in this. Okay, I think I'm going to say that that's a go. Just going to hit a few other things here while I'm out here watering. I've got tickweed here that escaped from the garden years ago. I've transplanted part of it, but the roots keep coming back, so I keep watering it every summer. My white rose bush. Which needs to be transplanted. My red rose bush, which also needs to be transplanted. Okay, we are officially watered. I got gophers in here, oh boy. Okay, well that's a pretty good soak. I'll probably use the watering can to water the rest.